All right, we're live. Welcome to my stream. My name is Jared O'Leary, and this morning I'm going to be practicing the tenors. So here's the plan for this stream. I'm going to warm up, and I'm going to warm up with one of the hundreds of free play-alongs. There's over 1,200 hours of free drumming content on my website. So I'm going to warm up, then I'm going to stretch and massage, and then I'm going to push my hands a little bit faster than what I was doing when I was warming up. And then I'm specifically going to work on fast, slow, fast, and slow, fast, slow to do windmills and around the world. And if you don't know what those are, let me demonstrate real quick. Get out my Tenor sticks. All right. Actually, it makes more sense to do it this way. Okay, so windmills are standard. You're going on the outside of the drums. And you're playing just from going down, going down. Now, around the worlds are a little bit different. So you're actually changing your angles. So you're moving on the interior drums as well and doing the sweep with some crossovers. So those are around the worlds. Now, you notice that there are some stick clicks in there. Why? Because I need to practice some more, which is what I'm doing live in today's stream. All right, let's get this back up. I'm warming up with some Hardeman hammers. These are heavier sticks than normal. They're probably, I don't know, 50% heavier than my normal like performance sticks, and then compared to the tenor sticks, they're even heavier than that. So let's pick something to warm up with. So on my website, there are a bunch of different free play-alongs that you can use. And there's actually this shirt, which I'm wearing right now. So in case you're wondering what the text says, it says, obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCPD, is characterized by a pervasive preoccupation with perfecting relaxed technique and rhythmic control. Treatment involves many hours of practice. Full disclosure, I have OCD, and I was previously diagnosed with OCPD, but I worked on it. And the OCD, worked on that as well. But that was many years ago. My website used to be called OCPDmusic.com, obsessive-compulsive percussion disorder. Fun fact. All right, so we're going to warm up, and we're going to warm up with some 16th note diddle variations. And let's do a variation on rodeo. Whee! Okay, so this is going to be a nice way to just kind of like work on the diddles, get the blood flowing, etc. Now, with all of these play-alongs that are on my website, if you go to the description and you scroll down, you'll have the timestamps here. I highly recommend going through these, because all you have to do is be like, I want to play this at 100, and then boom, you're there. If you do a BPM that ends with a 0 or a 5, it'll give you this like few seconds to kind of get set up, which is great. So you can pick up your sticks. I don't know if you heard that or not. I don't know how well the audio is coming through, but the audio just ducked out. It's been doing this to me quite a bit, and it's only on the drum streams. I have no clue why it does that. It's annoying, though. And as I was saying, for like anyone that doesn't end with a 0 or a 5, it just goes straight into the tap off. Cool. That was fun. I like this exercise. So it's in like an extended version. It's like the expansion pack version of Gallop. Time, speeding her up. Let's go up 5 clicks at a time. I don't want to push too fast, too far. Okay, so that was 110, right? Okay, here's 1:15. If this is too fast for you and you're watching this live or after the fact, you'll have descriptions where you can go to the timestamp, but slow it down. I slow it down a little bit. Let's try 120. And then we'll stretch and massage, and I highly recommend doing that every single time you're doing this. And again, what I was saying is, if you need to slow this down, if this is too fast for you, which we've all been there, you can go as slow as 20, and it would take you over 3.5 minutes just to play through it one time. So take your time with this. I am playing this faster because I have spent time at 20. And 30, and 40, etc. Oops. Wrong part. I got to do a redemption run here. Let's stretch and massage. So the first stretch that I do is a little weird. Let me actually give you a top-down view of this. Okay. So hold your sticks like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to pull in while still holding and follow with the other hand. And then just push it back out. Nice. And just hold this here. Gently. You don't want to go into this stretch fast. You don't want to tear anything or pop anything. That'd be bad. This is a weird stretch, I know, but it's a good one. Okay, so then you just go back out the way you came. If you're doing traditional grip, you can hold your sticks. Actually, let me show you this view. So you can pull your sticks this way and just hold it, and then pull your sticks this way and hold it here. I no longer am doing that, so I don't need to do it. All right, so next I'm going to stretch the underside, so you can do one at a time. You can do this on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch is going to be. I'm going to just go ahead and do this on the drum pads. And just hold it. Yeah. Don't put all your weight in this, by the way. You don't want to tear anything or pop anything. That'd be bad. Sweet. Okay, next. Notice my necklace is a little off. Fixed. Next, we're going to stretch the top side. So again, you can do one at a time. If you do this one on the wall, you want to raise it higher for a deeper stretch. Again, don't put like all of your weight on this. I'm going to just go ahead and do it on the pad. Okay. And now we're going to stretch each finger individually. So you could do one at a time, stretching and holding like this. But I'm going to do both at a time by having thumb on thumb. Now, oh, there's a dog here. Oh, there's quite a few. Minnie. Why'd you put your hair up here? Minnie's my dog. Our dog. All right. Oh, that's a good one. I like the stretch. And then index finger. Now, yesterday, Sunday, was the end of my first 2 weeks of streaming. So I've been creating full time. I've been creating content full time now. And I haven't missed a day of some kind of a drum stream, whether it's chops, technique, tenors, drum kits, whatever. It's been great getting back into drumming again, especially after how many months did I not drum? It was like 2.5, 2 or 3, something like that. It feels good. It also feels good all the gaming I've been doing, but the majority of what I spend my time on during my week is video reviews, editing, aim training, podcast reading, podcast recording and editing, all sorts of stuff. So very small percentage of my time is actually spent doing video streaming or gaming and all that stuff. Okay, I'm going to massage the top side and the underside of my forearm. So you can use your thumb like this, and then you can use the underside like that. It is really interesting how different the skin tone is on both cameras. Look at that. Does it get any different? No. Huh. Does it have a filter on? It's just like drastically different. Filters. Edit filters. Color correction. That's with the color correction off. Huh. So it's too whitewashed out if I don't have that color correction on, but it's just interesting how different the skin tone is. Oh, see, now it's like closer. But like when I get higher up. I'm distracted. Anyways, back to massaging. I highly recommend doing this every single time you drum. I do it every single stream. I do it when I'm not streaming as well. I sometimes do it throughout the day, depending on how sore my arms are. After like a workout, or let's say I drum for several hours in a day. Okay, well, take some time, stretch, massage. These are all habits that I developed after getting injuries. And I was like, that injury just prevented me from being able to drum for a day, or in the case of my undergrad, for over a month. Had my elbow inflate. It's like twice the size. You couldn't even see this like wrist bone right here. Like it swelled up all the way over here. Some kind of bursitis or something. And I couldn't drum with my left arm for over a month. That's no good when you're on a performance scholarship. All right, now I'm going to massage the back side of my hand while I massage the palm with my thumb. It's getting everything nice and loose. Okay, now base to tip. Middle finger. Ooh. So I usually do this about 2 times, but if the finger is like extra tight, sometimes I'll do 3 or 4. Just kind of depends on how fingers are doing. Okay, let's massage the other hand. I also do this after I have done some kind of a warm-up. So in this case, I was doing this variation on Gallop, like the DLC version, expanded, enhanced. I like to call it rodeo, which reminds me of rodeo. After you get the blood flowing, then do this massage routine. And then for myself, I like to push my hands even further just to get to a breaking point after that. I just think it's fun. Also, it helps you think faster, or at least attempt to train your brain to think faster about your playing, because you go on that like edge of control, and it forces you to process things a little bit faster, at least attempt to. Over time, at least, it gets better. And it's just a good way to kind of work on your chops. Speaking of, let's play through it. All right, so we'll go down here. Oh, that was 122. Okay, so we're going to go 125. Yeah. And we'll see how this goes, folks. Stay tuned. Whoops. Let's do 130. Here we go. There it is. Whoops. Whoops. So I keep messing up there. What I'm doing, instead of playing the tap fives, is I'm playing the very last line. My bad. So that's where my brain is going, apparently. It forgot how to, do that. 135. I think my breaking point is probably going to be 140. Who knows? Well, I'll know in like 2 minutes. Let's see if I crash and burn. Definitely get the blood flowing. Let's get some water real quick. Surprisingly, I didn't crash and burn. I'm going to try 10 clicks faster. Good old water. Move that closer. Okay. 150. Do we crash and burn now? Maybe. That's fun. That was right on that edge of too fast. We're going to jump over the edge now. Okay, so this jumps right into 160, so I got to be quick with this tap off. Here we go. I slowed down at the end. All right. Now, this variation on Gallop can be found on my website, jaredoleary.com/drum. There's over 1,200 hours of content, and I've been releasing a new play along every single day, so it should keep you plenty busy with the several hundred exercises on here. Check it out. I can't speak. Check it out. Oh, man, he's upset. All right, so I'm going to be working on tenor technique. Get my tenor sticks out. Okay, so I'm going to be using two different exercises, or rather tools for this. So fast, slow, fast starts off at a fast tempo, slows down all the way to 40, and then goes back up to whatever your starting tempo was. And it does this 4 counts at a time, 4 beats, going 1 beat slower every single time you do it. So if you start at 160, you do it for 4 counts. It goes down to 159 for 4 counts, all the way down to 40. Then it holds there for 16 counts and then goes back up 1 beat at a time. This is great for working on a rudiment or a drum set pattern or whatever. So we're going to do that. And I think 160 is probably a good place to start. Oh, hi, Minnie. See if you can see her. She's just crawling by. All right. See you later. Ohio. Going to see her mom. All right. So we're going to start with 160. I think this is a good tempo. Maybe. And I'm going to do Around the World. Starting off strong. A little hard to hear. Ooh, lost my stick. So I'm really paying attention to my playing zones, also making sure I'm not turning my wrists over like this, or my shoulders. Got off on time by over-exaggerating, my apologies. So I'm trying to keep my upper body in the same position, and just let my arms do the motion for me. I'm also trying to make sure that my playing zones are as efficient as possible. So I don't want to be doing this where I'm hitting on the opposite side of the drum to the opposite side of the drum. Whoops. I want it to be as close to the next drum as I can get it without hitting the rim. And you'll notice that I am doing a smoother drum-to-drum transition. And the reason why is because I'm practicing this how I want to play it fast. as opposed to isolating out the drum-to-drum transition, which I did, how many days ago was that? 4 days ago? So check out that recording on YouTube if you're curious. I think it says drum-to-drum transition somewhere in the title, if you're trying to find that particular one. And again, all of the stream recordings and stuff, as well as the 1,200 hours of free resources, this exercise, Fast Slow Fast, are found on my website, which are linked at the top of the screen that you're watching, and maybe even in the description, a direct link if you're like on YouTube. Okay, so we still are going all the way down to 40. This exercise takes like a while, depending on what BPM you select. Could take like 10, 15 minutes just to get through it one time. But I wish I had this when I was still marching. Like to just sit here and play flam drags with this and have the BPM just slowly go faster. Oh, that would have been a great tool to have. Which is why I created this for you. For free. It might have ads at the start of it, but I'm not monetized on YouTube, so I don't get any money for it. YouTube does. Okay, so once we get to 40 beats per minute, it's going to do it for 4 measures. So for 16 counts, and then it goes back up. Whoops. All the way to your starting tempo, in this case, which was 160. And it goes 1 click at a time, 1 BPM at a time. For 4 counts. And we'll see if I have any drastic changes in my technique. I'm finding that my hands are probably a little tighter than they need to be. So I'm focusing on that. Now we go faster. Here. Whoops. Forgot the pattern for a second. Again, I'm focusing on the playing zones and keeping my wrists same position, just moving my arms. You want to keep the wrist in the same position so that way you don't accidentally change the quality or the timbre of your drumming. You don't want it to be louder or softer, or even just give like a completely different tone off the drum by hitting in a different location or with a different kind of stroke type. Because you might hit it at a different angle, which would make it hit at a different part of the bead or the tip of the stick, which could give you a different sound quality. Going for that robotic sound so it's consistent, so you can play consistently with everybody else on the line. You'll notice when I'm quiet, I'm focusing much more on my playing than when I'm talking. really overanalyzing everything here. Again, going with the t-shirt, Obsessive Compulsive Percussion Disorder, that I'm wearing right now. I obsess over my practicing in order to improve my playing. That attention to detail that I learned while marching snare carries over into so much of what I do in life, and I highly recommend that other people develop that. Not only the discipline involved with drumming, but the attention to detail and the consistency. Whether it's lesson plans that I've created, or the teaching that I do, or the videos I create, there's an attention to detail in there that is a result of having practiced refining my attention to detail through drumming, and just letting that focus and intensity carry over into other things I do or create. So these like random stick clicks and random moments where I hit a rim, I'm not finding like a clear pattern. Like with that, it was just kind of like a one-off fluke. If it happened like 5 times in a row, cool. It's something that you can work on. But because it's only happening infrequently, I haven't been able to identify what the issue is and what I can actually sit and work through. Let's see if I figure it out as we go faster. So once it gets to 160, this is where it stops, because that's where I started with my starting tempo. Whoops. Hit the microphone. Sorry. Alright. So, that was Fast Slow Fast, which you can find under the technique section, just right here. Great way to work up anything, whether it's tenor technique, or something on drum kit, or just a rudiment, or a sticking pattern, whatever. You can start off at your fast speed, slow it down to specifically refine the technique, and then see if that refinement carries on over. Now, the next variation that I'm going to do is the opposite of that. So this one, slow, fast, slow, starts slow, gets faster, and then slows back down again. So when you click on this one, again, it's only going to go up 1 BPM at a time. And if you go into the description of the video, you can select how fast you want it to go. So I was just playing those at 160. So I'm going to say, hey, I want to start at 40, go up to 160, and go back down to 40. And it's going to take me a little over 10 minutes to be able to do that, a little over 11 minutes, in order to go up 1 click at a time for 4 counts. Once you get to 160, it holds it for 16 counts or 4 measures, and then it slows all the way back down to 40, and it goes 1 click at a time for the BPM. So let's do this. We're going to start right here. This time, I'm going to do windmills, which these are harder. It's a faster motion or a further motion that you have to get through in order to do this. Already starting off. iffy. I'm kind of afraid that I'm gonna hit the microphone again. It is kind of hanging out closer than I normally like it. I'm going twice as fast as I need to. Let's redeem myself here. So I just move the microphone back a little bit. And let's actually, you know, start at the correct speed. If I had done that, maintained that speed and gotten all the way up to 160, you would have been... Okay. I was like, wow, 40 feels fast. Well, it is if you are playing 30-second notes instead of 16th notes, Jared. With this microphone here, it's like I can't actually really see my drum 3. So I need to kind of change my head angle much more than I normally would, because I want to check my placement. And just looking at it here, I was totally overshooting my playing zone for what I needed for the second note of the diddle. So I'm just going further than I need to. So unlike Around the Worlds, which has a stick-over-stick crossover in terms of how close they are, this gets your full wrist crossing over the other stick. Whoops. And you have to move much further in the same amount of time as Around the Worlds. So windmills, in my opinion, are honestly harder to get consistent. And just like harder physically, it's more demanding than Around the Worlds are. Although Around the Worlds hit more drums in different ways, in my opinion, these are the harder of the two. One of the things that you want to pay attention to when using this particular tool to go from slow to fast to slow is to check to see if there are any like gray zones where all of a sudden your technique just gets really bad or your playing gets really iffy, and then all of a sudden it starts to feel better. What that means is you are transitioning from a slow technique to a fast technique, and you have this middle ground where your hands or your brain are not really quite sure which technique should I use, my slow one or my fast one. And I'm noticing an issue here with my left hand not getting far enough over. So you ideally want to make it so that your slow technique matches how you're going to play it fast. So practice in a way that allows you to do that. I'm not getting my second note of the left hand over far enough, which is what I'm now focusing on, as opposed to just talking, which is screwing me up. And again, so that second note right there that I'm hitting on the rim is a consistent error that I'm having right now that I've been able to identify. So I realized I needed to get my playing zone closer to drum 3 in drum 1, and I need to get that second note over enough to drum 3. So look for those consistent airs, and then sit there and refine it and focus on trying to refine it at least. I'm not sure why my first note is off. Well, fixed it. Maybe not. Okay, so now it's gonna hold here for 4 measures and then goes back down now. It's consistently my left hand that's getting the rim clicks. So my left hand, I think, is still not getting over far enough. So now I'm looking at the left hand on drum 4, that second note, to see if I'm going too far over, like that, and it's just making the distance too much. So sometimes it's not the drums where you're screwing up on, but it's right before it. And this is the same thing for like when I march snare. We wouldn't just like work on the roll that was dirty, but the, I don't know, the check pattern or whatever that came right before that roll to see if that is what caused the dirt on the roll itself. Oof. So now I'm focusing on getting the wrist further over. Ugh. See, these are way harder than the Around the Worlds. I'm hitting way more rim. My upper body might just be getting a little tired doing the same motion over and over again. My left hand is kind of doing worse. And so I'm trying to refine. My 16th notes were a little stuttery. So at 40, it'll stop. Where it would go down to 39. 40 is basically the last. Crooked. All right, so one of the things that I was noticing when I was playing through that variation of the Around the Worlds, or rather the windmills. So when I was just playing through those windmills, I was noticing that when I had the left hand over here, it had a tendency to hit the rim. So the left hand on the windmill crossovers was hitting the rim when I was doing this particular wrist over wrist crossover. And so one of the reasons why is because I was noticing I wasn't going far enough over. And so where I had this like distance for the playing zone, when it was shifted over, it would hit the second note like this. And it's because I was hitting here. And so I was trying to refine moving over enough. But if I took a step back and looked at what was my left hand doing here, it was actually going too far over on the left side rather than hitting over here on this section of it. So my issue was not with this as much as it was with over here. So whenever you're working on stuff, it's really important to not just look at the problem area, but what comes right before that. So like if it's a roll and it's a dirty roll, what about the check that comes right before that? I can almost guarantee you most of the time, it's usually like the stuff that comes right before the dirty part than it is the part that's actually dirty. At least that's one of the things that I noticed when I used to march and when I used to teach. Is refine the stuff right before it, set yourself up solidly, and then when you get into it. So in this case with the windmills, it had to do with this distance and was impacting how far I could go here. That's a nice blurry camera. But when I was playing the Around the Worlds, it was just a whole lot easier because it was doing wrist or stick over stick crossover. And the amount of motion that you had to move was basically a stick length as opposed to nearly 2 sticks lengths to get like from here all the way across. That blurry camera is really annoying. Let's just keep making it blurry. Okay. Some little tips right there. So, yeah, I need to continue to refine these and really get those playing zones down. And I need to continue to work on that, the left hand, the second note, with the crossover right there. So that'll be something that I can continue to work on. If you are watching this after the fact and you want to leave a comment on like one of the tenor crossovers that you really enjoy playing or sweep patterns, let me know. I'm happy to practice that and learn it. So I'm going to end the stream with a little chop out. Let's get the pad and my heavy sticks out. And we'll go back there. We're going to go back to my website, and we're just going to chop out with something for fun. I like to end my streams by playing something fast, push my hands, my brains to go a little bit faster each time. And what do I want to do today? Do I want to do a grid variation? There are over 500 grid variations on my website, 211 of triplet, 297 on 16th note. There's a new one that comes out every other day. And then there's also a bass permutation coming out every other day as well. So now it's moving on to 4 drums. I've got 35 5 drums. And then honestly, my favorite is the splits timing one. This one's really cool. So like it plays both parts. You hear both parts. And then it'll mute one of the lines. And then the next time, the third time it plays through it, it only mutes the second line or the second split part. So it allows you to kind of hear what it would sound like if you're practicing this with somebody else. I highly recommend checking that out if you're a bass player. All right, let's chop out with... So yesterday I did some buzz variations. I also did that. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to do Swiss drag on 1. This is really going to chop out my right hand in particular. Bum 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 ba dum. We're going to start slow on this and work our way up. So a Swiss is right, right, left with a flam. Swiss drag is a flam drag with that sticking. So that's what we're going to play. And we're going to do it as fast as I possibly can go until I crash and burn. And then my arms spontaneously combust. And then we have to get out the fire extinguisher, call the fire department. $120. I have a very dry and often dark sense of humor, and I give a delivery that you don't know if I'm joking. I think my breaking point, if that was a 120, it's probably going to be 160. Stay tuned, folks. We'll find out. Whoops. Brain fart. I gotta redeem myself there. 140. Not that fast. Don't want to do 200. All right, Swiss drag on 1, 4-2-1 grid. Whee! I like it. 150. So I thought 160 was going to be my breaking point, but this is getting tough. Ugh, brain fart. That wasn't a hand thing. That was a brain thing. Wake up, brain. Wake up, brain. All right. True story. To leave a comment, it could help somebody. Are you ready? I'm ready. All right, 160. See if I crash and burn. Whew. My right arm is like, yeah, you can stop that now. Nope. Going faster. 165. Because I want to be the very best. Oh, no. DMCA strike. Dang it. This will probably be my last rep. Based on how 160 went. All right. That was fun. Yeah, so if you want to be able to play through any of the 1,200 hours and several hundred play-alongs that are available on my website, just go to jaredoleary.com. It'll keep you busy for quite some time. Cool. Thank you, anyone who joined me live and who was checking out all of the resources. Thank you, anyone who watched this after the fact. I hope this helps you in some way to give you some ideas or some tips of things to look for or listen for. And I hope if you see how I practice and all the mistakes that I make after 20 years of still drumming, hopefully it makes you go, oh yeah, everybody makes mistakes. We all have things to work on. Cool. I am going to tear this setup down and then get ready for some Elden Ring. I'll do that for a bit. So it'll be about 10 or 15 minutes and I'll do that stream. And then later on tonight, going to play Dying Light 2 with Dr. Neurolab. So check out their channel on Twitch if you haven't done so already. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So enjoy the music that I wrote. Bye.